Good morning, all. Thank you very much for joining this. Uh, so I take this liberty and this opportunity to all the participants and welcome to the learning curve by Moneycontrol. Uh, Now, this is a way of making markets, investing, and personal finance easy for individuals and small-time traders. So basically for everyone. I'm glad that you are here today for this session on price action and tracking. If you are new to trading or investing, or if you are just beginning to learn, or you are just curious about uh, trading, then this is a great place to start. Charts may really look confusing as such. So I hope you can see this. You can see my charts. I just change the view slightly. You know, now all this line, green, red, and so on and so forth, they might look a bit confusing at first, but once you learn to understand the fundamentals of price action, the way price moves, and once you know how to read them, they actually tell you a clear story about uh, what the markets are likely to do, what they are doing now, where is it a great value opportunity, and so on and so forth. And this is what we are going to explore today. We are going to talk a lot about uh, dissection charting. So, let's straight away jump into the initial introductory session. Uh, okay, so my name is Manish Shah. I'm basically a BCom and a chartered accountant by education. Uh, I'm a SEBI-registered investment advisor with this registration number. I have more than 20 years of experience in working with price action. I have worked with various institutions over the last so many years, including, uh, I have advised fund managers. I have a lot of interaction. I've had a lot of interaction with retail traders, HNIs, and so on. So this is something about myself. I also give a lot of research to various brokers. As on date, I am also I'm also a contributor to Moneycontrol for a long period of time. So this is what my current status is. Is there an issue with voice? Uh, okay. Yeah. Is voice clear now? Is voice clear? Is this clear? Okay. Is this voice clear now? Everyone? Yeah, I hope it's clear now. Is audio clear now? Yes. Voice is clear now? Is it clear? Okay. I think it's clear. It's yeah, much better now. Okay, fine. Okay. So right. So that's something about myself. And so let's go to the disclaimers first and then we start. Okay. Right. So now the content of this webinar is purely for educational purposes of the participants, and it not be misconstrued as investment advice, okay, or research recommendations. Further, it does not constitute a personal recommendations or take into account the particular investment objective, financial status, or needs of individual investors. The securities quoted are for illustration only and are not recommendatory in nature. Investment in securities market is subject to market risk. So investors are therefore advised to do the independent research and read all the related documents carefully before investing. Okay, guys. So this is for everyone. Uh, please invest responsibly. Please invest carefully. Please learn uh, whatever is there to be learned and act according to your beliefs and your trading systems, right? So this is something about myself and and the disclaimer. So now, so what are we going to why are we here today? So what are we going to do? What are we going to learn? And this is not the first session. We are also going to have an intermediate and an advanced session. Okay. So basically, let's talk about today. What are we going to do? What are we going to learn? The first thing is we are going to talk something on price action. Okay. Now, what is price action? That is something that we'll talk about. We'll talk something about technical analysis. We introduce to you what are the fundamentals of the subject. Okay. Uh, then once we are through that, we will talk about theory of trends and its applications. How do you look at a trend? What is exactly meant by a trend? uh, how do we apply it in our day-to-day analysis? How do we seek clarity? How do we seek confirmation from the underlying price action, right? So this program today is purely about price action. We will not be talking, about fundamentals and so on and so forth. We'll only look at price as an analytical tool, right? So now I have here with me Nifty. So we'll learn to read how to make assumptions of where the price is right now at the moment, what it has done in last couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months. Uh, we can talk a lot about stocks and so on and so forth. So we'll be concentrating on this word price action. Okay. Uh, then we'll talk about something on theory of trends, how we apply the basic theory of trends that has been, given to us since ages, having its origins in the Dow theory. What are the different aspects of trends, time frames, and so on and so forth. Then we'll talk about one of the first, most fundamental aspect of price action, that is support and resistance. Okay, what is meant? I mean, you would be coming across this term. Uh, Support, prices at a support, prices breaking out of a resistance, price has broken below a resistance. So what does it mean by this such statements, and how do you as a trader learn to spot this behavior in prices in the stocks that you are monitoring, how to incorporate the subtle changes in the price that happen on a day-to-day basis into your analytical uh, framework. Uh, and we'll also talk about how theory of trend then merges with support and resistance. Okay. And then uh, at the end of the session, we'll talk something about the trader development process, what it means to mature, develop, and grow as a trader or an investor, right? So these terms are, slightly they are interchangeable at times. A trader, an investor, a speculator, and so on. Okay. So uh, there is no such thing as the right way of trading as such. It's about how an individual perceives the market and how he acts based upon his own resources, his own capabilities, his own experiences and so on. So my uh, see over the years, okay, see over the years, uh, I have devoted a lot of time to traders from all walks of life. You know, they come to me to learn. I have worked with Motilal Oswal Financial Services as a trading coach, uh, and I can tell you from personal experience that way back in 2017 or so, we had this huge setup where you know a lot of traders used to come and we used to teach them the trading process. So it takes time for an individual to develop as a trader. So uh, it is a process. It takes time for you to develop as a trader, for an individual to develop as a trader. So be willing to devote that time. If you plan to take trading as an secondary source of income, or you know a primary source of income, or you know uh, and maybe just make some money on the side, or at least you have that desire to you know try to extract some money from the market over a period of time, uh, and you want to learn price action as such, okay, then it is important that you develop your personality as a trader. Now trader does not necessarily mean an intraday trader, uh, or a scalper or a speculator. It just means that you are trying to take a bet on the direction of the price. Okay, there are opportunities and there are risks associated with this process. Now, supposing if you are a risk averse person, if you say that okay, now I'm happy with let's say uh, just investing some money as SIPs, you know, as long term investments, then maybe then that's your personality. There is nothing right or wrong about it. Uh, but if you have this desire, or I would say that at least during the career of an individual, at least some aspect of time or some portion of the time has to be devoted to learning how to trade. My experience tells me that a lot of individuals who come to me, they come to me after they have lost money. Okay, so they would have taken some trades in options, they would have taken some trades in supports, and they are stuck with some investments, and they have lost money, maybe 50% of the capital. So you know, somebody would come and say, "Sir, I had 5 lakhs, and now in last 6 months I have lost, you know, 2 lakhs or maybe 3 lakhs. Now, how do I recover my money?" Right. So now, at the very outset, what happens is that you are learning because you want to recover what you have lost. So your beginning itself is not from a, a, a trader mindset where you want to accumulate your winnings, right? So you're not approaching the market with a winner's mindset. You are trying to approach the market with with a mindset that you know I want to recover my losses. Okay, or sir, if I recover this money, then I'm happy. Then I will never look at the market in my life again. Now that's a loser's mindset. Okay. Now what makes trading and investing so enticing? I just take you to Nifty right now, and there are some pockets of price behavior. So if you look at Nifty over time, okay. So what we have here, this was an exceptional moves. These are exceptional price moves in the market as such. Okay. These are exceptional moves, and this is where big monies are made. Okay, these are exceptional moves, fast uptrends. Okay, this is where trading can be a dream. It can be, you know, prices can advance at a very fast clip. So these are the pockets of price behavior that you want to encash on as a trader. if you are somebody who is a longer term investor, uh, markets have rewarded investors substantially since the pandemic. This is pandemic, and we have seen a massive improvement in the assets or stocks as such. So now this is a sort of a run that you want to capitalize on. Now, if you ask me how are the markets doing today, do we have enough opportunities as of now in last 3 or 4 months or maybe 6 months as such? The answer is that okay, the opportunities are very few and far in between. The markets are in a range. We have a lot of issues with the geopolitical scenario or maybe an economic scenario. Uh, Substantial amount of uh, intervention has not yet percolated down into the market. Eventually, it should, because uh, once geopolitical affairs change, we should be resuming its way up. We are in a longer term uptrend, and so on. We'll talk about trends at a later stage. So, uh, so this is what makes markets so exciting. Okay, but as a trader, you have to wait for that moment when uh, when the market is giving you an opportunity. You should be ready to grab that opportunity. Okay. Uh, if you have lost money in this phase where the markets are not really doing anything, they are in a range, very very volatile movements. uh, Day trading is difficult. I would say in last 3 or 4 months we have not gone anywhere. So short term trading, I mean, I can tell you from first hand experience, uh, because we are in the markets on a day to day basis. So but what my experience tells me that eventually this too shall pass. There will be some pockets of price behavior, even shorter term 4 or 5 day spurts where we trying to capitalize on such things. So this happens, right? So you have to be at your at the top end of the game. So trading is not simply looking at charts. I mean, guys, let's be clear about it. Trading is not simply looking at charts, but it's a development process. It's very very important, right? It's trading is just like playing a sport. I mean, if you are a batsman, then just hitting the ball in the nets or and trying to replicate that same performance under pressure. If you are playing for if you are playing top notch cricket, then it's not simply about batting. It's not simply about bowling. It's about you know dissolving yourself in that environment. Okay, so then in the next session, we'll talk more about that. At the end of the session, we'll be talking something about trend lines, patterns, range expansion. So your actual, trade setups, how to enter into the market will begin from the next session. And in the advanced session, we'll talk something about indicators. We'll talk something about combining indicators with price action and so on and so. So we'll talk something about trade management guidelines, how to manage your trade. These are important things, for you to develop as a trader. See, I've been with price action for a very very long period of time. I have probably read hundreds of books. I've looked at thousands and thousands of charts. It's a day to day affair for me. Yeah. Even after almost 2 decades in the market, I have not stopped reading. I still look at new literature that comes out. I still look at old. I review, reread the old literature, the classics that are out there. Uh, so a sportsman, that let's say let's I mean it was just in the news some time ago that uh, that uh, Rohit Sharma, right? Rohit Sharma lost 20 kgs. Now this person has achieved everything in life, right? So when this big tournament comes up, the preparation is done months in advance. Okay, it's not as if that if the matches are going to start maybe a week, I'll start preparing. No, that's not the way it is done. Okay, so uh, in spite of achieving everything, in spite of being at the pinnacle of their career, they still go through the process, they still go through the basics that they have learned years ago. I mean, you take any sportsman, whether it is in tennis, whether it is in football, whether it is in cricket, whether it is in Formula One, any sport. So those basic, uh, uh, the basic drills that they are done repetitively, again and again, again and again, again and again. Same thing is applicable to price action. You have to do your drills on a day-to-day basis, on a regular basis, depending on what your time frame is. Okay. So then we come to advanced session that will be in the third part of the series where we'll be looking at indicators and so on. Okay. So now basically let's start with the basic definition. So technical and what is price action? See, price action analysis and technical analysis is basically interchangeable terms. Okay. Technical analysis, the name was never there. It was, it just percolated into the literature sometime early in around I would say 1950s or so, when this golden period of technical analysis was there, where we had various analysts coming out with a lot of stuff which is still in use. So it's basically price action or technical analysis is a study employed to evaluate investments, right? So it is just it's a study employed to evaluate investments and identify trading opportunities by analyzing statistical trends. This is the buzzword, trends. Okay, gathered from trading activity. Okay, such as price movement and volume. Okay, so now when we look at, let's say, we look at Nifty. So what you have here is just simple candlesticks. We'll talk about candlesticks later on, but for the moment, just focus on these this canvas. So you have price going up and down, and these are the volumes. What we will do is that we will learn to read price action. Then we'll look at certain repetitive phenomena. Now, okay, now who creates price and why is price action analysis so important? Okay, the importance is such. Now I can tell you from my experience, banks, fund houses, uh, individual family desks, HNIs, they all want to have a view on the technical structure of the individual stock or on the individual market as such. Why? Because price reflects emotions. Okay. What was the market? What was the underlying news current at this point? What happened when the market turned up? Okay. Now, this is when Trump announced tariffs. It was supposed to be a very bearish development. And then suddenly what happens? The market goes up. Why? Because somebody or a group of investors or the market as such believe that maybe the prices are, you know, at an attractive level to buy, but fundamentals may or may not support the price action. Okay, this is going to happen every time. Fundamentals may or may not support the price action, but the price action will still happen. Okay, despite bad news, the prices will bottom out. On good news, the prices will top out. Why? Because this is prices reflect the emotions of the entire market as such. So entire market means what? It includes everyone. The big players, the small players, people who are on the sidelines, people who are, attached with WhatsApp University. Most of them, they have never taken a trade, or fin influencers, and so on and so forth. So they form a collective opinion, and that collective opinion is reflected in the price. Now, because of that, what happens is that price behaves, they attract buyers, it attracts sellers, and so on and so forth. Okay, and this creates a structure. Now, this structure is repetitive in nature. So, as an analyst, we just want to look at repetitive structures and try to exploit those structures to our benefit. Okay? Again, it takes expertise to see through the structures. If let's say if you give me an electrocardiogram report, ECG का report मुझे दे दिया, तो I will not be able to interpret it. Why? Because I have not been trained to understand those price moving up and down, or maybe if you just give a seismogram, earthquake measure karta jo hai na, so if you give it to somebody, if you give that to a cardiologist, sir, yeah, this is very similar to electrocardiogram. Can you figure out what this is? No. You need to be trained. You need to spend that time. You need to be coached by somebody who has been in this subject for a long period of time, and apply yourself to learning the ropes, as we say, or learning the techniques, trying to interpret the market based on the price action. Okay, so what primary we are going to use is price movement and volume. These are two main determinants uh, of technical analysis. Okay, now what are the basics of tenets of technical analysis? Now, first thing is that prices move in trends. Okay, now this is a very, very big word. The word trend. What is the trend? Okay, so trends is simply the path which the prices are taken at the moment, as on the moment. Okay, so uh, if we go now, if we look at what Nifty is doing right now, it is, we can just simply say that based on the last available information. Okay, if I look at the structure since last, uh, let's say for about last 20 days or so, I find that the markets are not really going up or down, right? So we are approximately at the same level. So we can say, we can term this as the markets are in a sideways structure. Okay. If I go back couple of months, I would say that we are going in a larger range, but still we are not in a rising trajectory. We are basically, trying just bouncing off within a range or so. But now, if I look at markets from, let's say, uh, I'll just talk about what are monthly charts later in the moment. But now, if somebody is looking at a market from a 5-year point of view, then okay, my goodness, this market is rocking. It is up by almost, in last 5 years, it is up by almost 300%. Okay, so uh, your perception of the market depends on the time frame that you are using. So we'll talk about time frame more in detail at a later stage, in some time rather. Okay, so prices move in trends. So if I just change this to, let's say, another stock, let's say Eternal, that's Zomato. Okay, now this is easy, right? Now, what is the price doing? It is in a rising trajectory. So prices move in trends. Okay, very, very important. And this trend will continue till the time it reverses. We'll talk about trend reversals later. So you have to accept the fact that prices move in trends. Now, whether it is maybe a stock or an index or gold or whatever it is, it would always move in trends. Okay, so we have all seen a massive rally that is happening in gold for last couple of years now. Okay, so so you have to accept this, that the prices move in trends. Okay, then history repeats itself. Now this is another basic tenet of technical analysis. So what does this mean? It means that under similar circumstances, prices will behave in a similar way. Okay, price action is repetitive, but it is never exactly the same. इतना ध्यान रखना कि ये समझ लो that, so what, and this phenomenon, okay, this phenomenon of uh, repetitive price action is something that makes a technical analysis so valuable. So every time, let's say, price moves beyond a certain price point, it tends to go higher. So you know that, right? So every time price, let's say it moves beyond a certain price point, it tends to go higher. Now this could be true for across the stocks. It could be true for across the markets. Okay, so this is something about what we call as prices, the repetitive nature of prices, right? So history repeats itself. So you find that good budgets at times can result in very powerful moves. Interest rate cuts are generally seen to be bullish for the markets. Interest rate cuts are generally, seen to be bullish for uh, stocks that are interest rate sensitive. Okay. And very important, price discounts everything. Okay. So the current price reflects the underlying sentiment of the market, right? So if we look at, so okay, so price action is determinant, okay, of the underlying fundamentals, or rather change in fundamentals. So you may find that sometimes bad news. Okay, I'll just give you an example. Okay, uh, let's talk about something like IndusInd Bank, right? Now, everybody knows, I mean, if you have been following IndusInd Bank, so this is the point at which, there was this particular issue with their audit team, and, and certain losses we were not uh, properly accounted, which was a bearish development for the market. And, surprisingly, that exact day was the bottom for the price. Why does this happen? Okay. Why does it happen that, let's say, uh, something like, uh, why does it happen that something like Nifty, okay, or rather all the world markets post COVID, okay, why did they make a major bottom uh, when the COVID pandemic was probably one of the worst recessionary periods for business environment the world over? Okay, go back to 2007. Okay, I'm just giving you some examples from top of the head. This is where Lehman Brothers crashed. Okay, everything was in a recession. I was there in the market when it hit the lower circuit, and that was the end of the entire bear run. From there, we had a very sharp move upwards. So if you compare this phase in 2007 with 2017, you have parallels. This is what is meant by history repeating itself. Okay, so markets will make a bottom when the news are at the absolute bearishness. Okay, so this is something that, and we as traders, investors, uh, we look at those clues when we have a reason to believe that the markets are, uh, you know, uh, bottoming out, uh, or when they are likely to reverse their decline. Now, this same thing is true for all time frame. Okay, so these are the basic tenets of price action. Okay, now, why do we use price action and technical analysis, right? So now, just look at this statement here. Okay, I would just look at this statement. The tools and techniques using principles of technical analysis means that the probabilities, okay, of favorable outcome increases and is better than random thoughtless approach. This is what a lot of retail traders do. It's a random thoughtless approach. Okay, you are traveling in a train and you ask somebody sitting next to you that, what do you think the markets are doing? Okay, so it is a random approach, a random thoughtless approach. By applying basics of technical analysis, certain very straightforward methods. Okay, the probabilities of favorable outcomes increase. That is why we want to use price action. Okay, you can use price action along with fundamentals also. You can look at fundamental strong stocks. Okay, look at favorable price action, and then base your trade on that information. Okay, so there is no such thing as a perfect system or method, guys. Let me tell this to you. Okay, 100% success ratio systems methods, they don't exist. नहीं होता है. It is not possible. Why? Because price is a moving entity. Okay. So we have price, we have volatility, we have a direction. Okay. So irrespective of that, because of that, it is simply not possible that you are going to have 90% success, 100% success, 95% success ratio. Wins and losses. This is what a lot of people look at. Okay. If this, that's what the general acceptance is, that please give me a system that is 90% right. Okay. Give me a system that is uh, 80% right. No. Why? Certain systems will work better in certain environments, right? So, you know, breakouts would have worked extremely well in this phase. Okay? When the markets are going up, breakouts would have worked. In this phase, these days, breakouts, price moving, we'll talk more about breakouts. They will perform rather poorly. Why? Because the market structure is not conducive to momentum trading. Why? Because the markets are not going anywhere since last couple of months. We are practically at the same levels that we were there uh, in May. So in May 2000, I mean May, around 20th of May, we were at 24,600, 24,700, and today also we are at 24,600 and 2700. So markets have not moved. So that is the reason why you have this choppy action that is taking place. Majority of the stocks, okay, a vast majority of the stocks, let's say something like RBL Bank. Okay, see, this is also, you know in a range. Okay, so you just simply maybe look at maybe something like National Aluminium. Okay, it has just moved a little bit, but over last couple of months, it was in a range. Okay, uh, Voltas, despite the cut, we are just probably in a range. Okay, but now Voltas is interesting. Why? I will tell you when we talk about support and resistance. Uh, right. So, okay. Now, what is meant by? Okay. Does anybody have any questions, or is there something that you want me to suggest? We are almost 40 minutes into the session. Uh, okay. Does anybody have? Does anybody have? Uh, right. So we continue. Okay. Okay. Why can't you use Hindi as a language? It is supposed to be uh, an English, is it? Okay, use both Hindi and English. Fine, ठीक है. थोड़ा हिंदी, थोड़ा English. Is it okay? Okay. We are not going to talk about option change. We will talk about break in and breakout later on. Okay, ठीक है, चलो. Now, ये probabilities. What is meant by probabilities versus uncertainties? Probabilities का मतलब क्या होता है? See, uh, when you take a trade, okay, when you take, or let's say that uh, uh, so now, see, these are basic fundamentals, right? These are fundamentals of trading. See, the word probability means that you have to calculate your outcome. देखो, एक चीज समझो, मान लीजिए आपने 20 ट्रेड लिए हैं, राइट? You have taken 20 trades. Okay. Now either they are random entries, मतलब ऐसा ही किसी ने बोल दिया आपने ट्रेड ले ली, okay, or they are based on a particular method. Okay. This method you have learned, you have researched. The term probabilities means that individual outcomes of the trades do not matter. देखो, एक ट्रेड में अगर लॉस हुआ है तो इट डज नॉट मैटर. व्हाट वी वांट इज द आउटकम. मतलब 20 ट्रेड के बाद, ओके, आफ्टर 20 ट्रेड्स, आर यू पॉजिटिव और यू और नेगेटिव. वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ऐसा क्यों होता है कि देखो, अगर कोई भी एक, इफ देयर इज अ मेथड दैट यू आर यूजिंग, ओके, एंड इफ उसमें से अगर कुछ गलत ट्रेड होता हो जाता है ना, तो वो मेथड या वो सिस्टम्स को लोग अबैंडन कर देते हैं. क्योंकि अरे ये नहीं चलता है, मेरे 3-4 ट्रेड गलत हो गए. नहीं, दैट्स नॉट द वे टू डू इट. सो प्रोबेबिलिटीज यू हैव टू कैलकुलेट ओवर अ सेट ऑफ ट्रेड्स. मतलब 20-30 ट्रेड लो under the right environment, then see whether it is working for you or it is not working. Okay, very very important. ये देखो, because in any method that you learn is going to have some false trades. Okay, अगर 3-4 ट्रेड, 2-3-4 ट्रेड गलत भी हो गए, then what a lot of people do is that they abandon the method. Okay, so you have to work on your trades and see the outcome over 20 trades. Okay, 20-30 trades, the books say that you need to take at least 30 trades. Okay, and then have an opinion about the system, right? So कोई भी एक मेथड लो, उसको बराबर से सीखो. टेक स्मॉल ट्रेड्स बट ओवर अ लार्ज सैंपल साइज. तो 20-30-40 ट्रेड लो और देखो आपका वो मेथड कितना इफेक्टिव है. Okay, so प्राइस एक्शन टेक्निकल एनालिसिस के जो एडवांटेजेस है, इट आइडेंटिफाइज ट्रेंड्स एंड पैटर्न्स. So the core strength of price action is ability to identify the direction of the market. Okay. Then it provides clear entry and exit points. Very, very important. Okay. So it allows you to manage the trade. Okay. I have some people who come to me and, they tell me that, okay, when do I buy this particular stock? Now that particular stock is researched fundamentally. Okay. Then we wait for clear cut entry points. What is happening in the price? And then we, take a decision whether to invest or not to invest. Okay. It assists in risk management. Okay. So stop losses. How do you put your stops? Okay. How do you manage your risk? Technical analysis provides essential tools for this. Very, very important. Okay. Okay. It's very, very important. Now, it is versatile across time frames and different markets. मतलब ये क्या, इसका मतलब क्या होता है? See, ये बहुत important है. It is versatile over different markets and time frames. Okay. That means you can apply the theory of price action or technical analysis to any financial market, right? Whether stock, forex, cryptos, commodities. So I can just learn the basics of price action and apply it maybe to a stock, or maybe I can simply go to maybe gold. Okay. I can just simply look at this particular market as such and trade with the same principles. Now, how is that? Okay. फंडामेंटल्स में आपको है ना, सी यू हैव टू लर्न अबाउट अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स. आपको इंडिविजुअल मार्केट के फंडामेंटल स्टडी करने पड़ेंगे, आपको इंडिविजुअल मार्केट्स के intricacies जो भी है that you have to study. But price action, you can, you can apply it to across the markets, right? So you can apply it to maybe gold, you can apply it to maybe USD, INR, Forex, GBP, you name it. Okay. Right. So you can apply it to various markets. So this is a very, very big advantage of learning price action. Okay. Chart patterns and price movements are representative of the collective market sentiment. Okay, so you will find that markets are overextended, markets are deeply oversold, and so on and so forth. Now, another very important thing is that reduces information overload. Okay, देखिए आजकल कितना इंफॉर्मेशन है ना हमारे पास आता है, व्हाट्सएप है, एआई है, परप्लेक्सिटी है, Gemini hai, and there are so many things which hundreds and hundreds of trade recommendations they come to you, economic reports, financial statements. Okay, price action analysis focuses only on two key data points: price and volume. Okay, so now you can just make a list of stocks that you are interested in. Okay, तो आप मतलब समझो कि I mean, which stocks do you think are fundamentally stocks? Can you give me one or two names? Chalo. How many stocks? I mean, fundamentally strong stocks, right? Fundamentally strong stocks. अगर मैं आपको कहता हूँ, okay, do you have a name that comes to your mind? Good quality stocks that you would like to have. Anybody? Good quality, just something that you have looked at, something that you know about. Yeah, we'll talk about RSI at a later stage. फंडामेंटली स्ट्रॉन्ग स्टॉक्स अगर आपको मैं पूछता हूँ कौन सा है, इंडिगो, विप्रो, राइट? सो नाउ यू जस्ट मेक अ लिस्ट, राइट? सो somebody has suggested Wipro. It's a fundamentally strong stock. Okay, you want to simply make this analysis and see where the price location is, right? And how do you buy, how do you sell? Okay, we'll take Wipro as an example, ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, MRF. तो ये जो भी स्टॉक्स है ना, तो उसका एक लिस्ट बना दो which you think are fundamentally strong stocks. ठीक है? और then you start monitoring those stocks. How to make that list? सिंपल, बहुत सिंपल सा चीज है, सिर्फ निफ्टी 50 पे कम से कम नेक्स्ट 6 महीने तक मॉनिटर करो. Then you apply these principles of technical analysis that we are going to learn over this next 3 sessions. Okay, then the fun starts. देखो जब भी है ना, I'll give you a small hint. Okay, see, once you learn to monitor, okay, जब भी आप स्टॉक्स को, लिमिटेड नंबर ऑफ स्टॉक्स को मॉनिटर करते हो ना, then what happens? Then the price movement gets internalized. Yeah. ठीक है? So the price movements get internalized. वो प्राइस आपसे बात करेगा. ओके, अगर आप लिमिटेड नंबर ऑफ स्टॉक्स को 6 महीना 1 साल के लिए आप अगर मॉनिटर करते हो, देन you will reach that one stage, okay, in your trading career where you just know that this is the time to buy this. Okay, लोग में ज्यादातर लोग क्या करते हैं, they look at entire universe. Okay, बहुत बड़ा यूनिवर्स देखते हैं, which is not actually it is not actually feasible for a human being. देखो बड़े बड़े इंस्टीट्यूशन में वो लोग का बहुत बड़ा रिसर्च डिपार्टमेंट होता है. Okay, so they have a huge research department, and they can afford to maintain or monitor a lot of stocks. But I can tell you, even the biggest institutional desk in the country, they don't monitor probably more than maybe 130 to 150 stocks. The list keeps on changing. Okay. So first lesson that I am going to tell you is identify a list of stocks that you want to monitor and work on them consistently. Okay, why? Because a good fundamental stocks, okay, will give you outsized returns. देखो, good fundamental stocks will give you outsized returns when there is good quality trend. Okay, so Wipro in a strong trend like this, we'll talk about trends in some time. This is going to give you, okay, a very good return only till the time this trend remains. देखो अभी विप्रो में नहीं है. Okay, as of now, maybe it is just there at a support, but it is not in a strong trend right now. अभी नहीं है, तो कभी आ सकता है. Wait for it. Okay, so I can say that, okay, among a lot of stocks that are discovered, that have been discussed, maybe something like M&M is in a very strong trend. Okay, okay, M&M is in a very strong trend. Okay, yeah, this is one that I want to monitor. Why? Because it is a fundamentally strong stock as well as it is in a strong trend. Okay, so this is very, very important. I am going to spend a lot of time on trends and support and resistance as we go along. देखो, समझ गए? Is everybody clear about this? Okay, right? A fundamentally good stock in a fundamentally strong trend. That is probably one of the best places to focus your energy. अपना एनर्जी उसी में फोर्स करो जहां पे अच्छा क्वालिटी का ट्रेंड है और अच्छा क्वालिटी का स्टॉक है, राइट? So something, let's say another example, let's say Maruti, again a fundamentally very, very good stock in a fundamentally very good strong trend. Okay, so now you monitor this, apply principles of technical analysis, that I will teach you, range breakouts and so on and so forth. Okay, now, okay, so this is some advantages of right. Now let's talk something about charts. What are candlestick charts and line charts? Now we are going to start with reading price action. Okay, so abhi now we are going to start with reading price action. तो अब तक हमने क्या बात किया? We just talked about the introductory part of the subject. Then we talked about importance of probabilities. That price action analysis is is a tool that you use. आप यूज करते हो प्राइस को एनालिसिस करने के लिए. ठीक है, तो जब भी आपको एनालिसिस करना है तभी आपको obviously you need to work with price. Okay. Now, how many of you are familiar with a basic charting package? आपको चार्ट्स लोड वगैरह करने को आता है अपने कोई भी whatever package that you are using on your broker platform or on Moneycontrol or any other package that you are using? I would say learn how to use it. If you don't know basic functions of changing a time frame, changing about chart types, loading indicators, trying to draw trend lines, support resistance tools, so you have to learn it. Okay, so see, next time when you come in the intermediate session, okay, when we'll be actually looking at a lot of charts. Okay, तो आज भी देखेंगे, ऐसा नहीं कि आज नहीं देखेंगे. So you should know how to use the tools that are there in the package. तो आपको ये आना चाहिए. Okay, right? So yeah, अभी बहुत सारे आ गए. So I think lot of stocks have been given. Okay, so right, so okay, so that's very good. We'll talk about that concept, Manzar ji, what is volume not supporting price. वो भी बात करेंगे. Okay, one step at a time. ठीक है, एक one step at a time. Right? Okay, so somebody is telling me that I am looking at fundamentally strong stocks by looking on the Pytrosky score. That is very good. We'll talk something about then now you can learn how to apply price action. Anyways, chalo. So now we look at types of charts. So first chart, now we are actually going into learning price action. So first chart that we look at is very easy. It's a line chart. So line chart में क्या होता है? Okay, we simply look at the close price. So this is a line chart. Okay. So लाइन चार्ट ज्यादा यूज हम तभी करते हैं जब भी हमको कंपैरिजन करना है बिटवीन स्टॉक्स, और जब भी रेशियो चार्ट्स वगैरह जब भी एडवांस जो टेक्निक्स है तो वी यूज लाइन चार्ट्स इन दैट सिनेरियो. ज्यादातर जो हम फोकस करते हैं वो है कैंडलस्टिक चार्ट्स पे. सो विल जस्ट सो दिस एंटायर सेशन जो भी हम चार्ट यूज करेंगे दे विल बी कैंडलस्टिक चार्ट्स. ओके. Then you have another form called the bar charts. So bar charts again, I think it's I don't use them. I use candlestick charts. So let's talk about green and red candles. Okay. So when you look at a candlestick chart, okay, so this is a daily chart. तो ये क्या है? देखो अभी ये क्या है? Daily chart है. This is a time frame. Okay. So when we talk about a candlestick chart, we have two colors. देखो यहां पर we have two colors, red and green. Okay. So कैंडल का कलर रेड कभी होता है? कैंडल का कलर रेड कभी होता है? when the close is above the open price. थोड़ा बड़ा कर. Okay, when the close is above the open price, so the candle is colored green. Okay. A candle is colored red. So candle is green in color. Okay. When the close is below the open. Okay. This candle is colored red. ठीक है, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड द कलर कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ द कैंडल्स. ओके. सो नाउ ओके, अभी चलो मेरे को एक चीज बताओ. अब ये समझ में आ गया? हैज एवरीबॉडी अंडरस्टूड दिस ग्रीन एंड रेड? जल्दी जल्दी यस बोलो. हैज एवरीबॉडी गॉट दिस? ग्रीन एंड रेड. राइट. ओके. व्हेन द क्लोज इज अबाउट द ओपन ओपन प्राइस, राइट. देखो मार्केट कितने बजे शुरू होता है? 9:15 बजे. ओके. मार्केट बंद कितने बजे होता है? 3:30 बजे. ओके. ओके. Change the color of the text, please. Okay. Is this okay? Are we? Can you read this now? Very very important. Now, अभी कैंडलस्टिक्स में इसमें देखो अभी let me ask this to you. I'll remove this. Now, let's look at. Now let us compare around, let's say, 20 days from here to here. ठीक है. Now which color of the candles they are dominating the chart. देखो ये फेज में I just zoom in a little bit. ठीक है? कौन सा कलर डोमिनेट कर रहा है, कौन सा कलर प्राइस चार्ट को डोमिनेट कर रहा है, इज इट रेड और ग्रीन. ओके लास्ट रफली अराउंड 20 दिन कौन सा कलर डोमिनेट कर रहा है. विच कलर इज डोमिनेटिंग. देखो यहां से यहां देखो कौन सा कलर डोमिनेट कर रहा है प्राइस में, रेड और ग्रीन. ग्रीन 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 है ना. तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ, देखो व्हेन ग्रीन डोमिनेशन मींस जो बायर्स है ना दे आर एक्टिव, वो लोग प्रभावी है सेलर्स में. क्यों, क्योंकि रेड कैंडल्स की रिलेटिवली कमी है. Okay, now I'll change this example. Okay, let's look at TCS. Okay, now roughly around last 20 days. Okay, which color is dominating? Is it red or green? TCS में कौन सा कलर डोमिनेट कर रहा है, रेड और ग्रीन. TCS. From look at this one. Okay. Okay. Right. See, this is more with a green domination. It is red. Okay. So now, so when we talk about candlestick analysis, okay, it gives you a perspective of what the price is doing. Red dominate कर रहा है या green. Okay. Very very important. Now let's go back to Maruti again. See, now when the price, okay, opens near the low, देखो ये कैंडल पे price has opened near the low and is closing at the highs, around the highs. देखो ये ये so wide range candles. Okay, so price is showing a tendency to open at the low and close at the high. See this one. Okay, see this, right? क्या है tendency? It is opening at the low and closing at the high. Okay, right? Yes, दिख रहा है ना. So now if I go back to TCS, now what is the price action telling you in last, let's say, a week or 10 days? Obviously there is this selling, right? So red candles they are dominating. So now let's say Monday को market ऊपर खुलता है कल, okay, something happens. Which stock should be your focus? Which, okay, let us assume कि आप दो ही stocks को देख रहे हो, TCS and मारुति. आपका focus कहाँ पर रहना चाहिए? Should it be on TCS? Where is the buying happening? Consistent buying किसमें हो रहा है? TCS में या मारुति में? So where should be, where what does the probabilities tell you? कि मार्केट को अगर ओपन होता है, then where should be my focus be? Okay, low of what? No, not the previous candle, the low. Okay, red candle, the focus will be on Maruti. ऑटो सेक्टर, अभी ऑटो सेक्टर में देखो क्या क्या सब हो रहा है. तो now you know where to focus, right? Red is dominating. Yeah, Maruti. So देखो, now you just go through several stocks that you are monitor, make your notes, and you will have a reasonable आइडिया. आपको एक रीजनेबल आइडिया मिल जाएगा तो मुझे कहां पर फोकस करना है. ठीक है. दिस इज द पावर ऑफ कैंडलस्टिक्स. ओके, सिंपली लुकिंग एट कलर दैट इज डोमिनेटिंग द लैंडस्केप. तो इसमें बोलते हैं विच विच पर्टिकुलर इज डोमिनेटिंग द लैंडस्केप. तो आपको इमीडिएटली एक आइडिया आ जाता है. सी समथिंग आई रैंडमली मैंने एक पिक किया है, यूपीएल. सी यूपीएल इज ओवर अ पीरियड इट इज डोमिनेट. रेड में अभी है, इधर वेट करो. ओके, राइट, गॉट इट. ये समझ, देखो ये प्रैक्टिस करो, ये आपको रोज का रोज देखना पड़ेगा. देन यू विल फाइंड दैट व्हाट आई एम टेलिंग यू इज नथिंग बट प्योर गोल्ड. Right, so let's move on. Red, green. Now, so what does candlesticks tell you? Candlesticks tell you the underlying sentiment of the price action. So some stocks would be in a rising trajectory, some stocks would be in a falling trajectory, and so on. Right now, let's go to what a time frame is and why time frame is important. Now, very, very important time frame. देखो, prices they trade on different time frame. Okay, so you have something that is trading on the daily, you can have a weekly, and you can have a monthly. Okay, so this one, ये जो है, this is your monthly time frame. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. हाँ, ये वेरी वेरी. सी लोग देखो, लोग क्या करते हैं कि अरे मंथली में क्या है, डेली में क्या है, वीकली में क्या है, तो कंफ्यूजन ही कंफ्यूजन हो जाता है. You will never ever be able to take a trade unless you are clear what is the holding period of the trade. होता है कि नहीं? अब देखो, दिस इज योर मंथली टाइम फ्रेम. तो मंथली टाइम फ्रेम में क्या हो जाता है कि आपका पूरे महीने का जो प्राइस मूवमेंट है दैट इज कैप्चर्ड इन अ सिंगल कैंडल. सो नाउ इफ आई गो, this is UPL and this is a monthly time frame. Okay, so this tells me how the stock has performed over last several years. Okay, right. So इफ यू आर एन इन्वेस्टर, ओके, अगर आपका होल्डिंग पीरियड मान लीजिए, maybe depends on the context, Hitesh. It depends on the context. Okay. I'll tell you. I mean, just don't talk about entry and exits yet. Okay. Wait. Okay. One step at a time. Okay. Don't rush. Okay. Now, मेरी बात ध्यान से सुनो. If you are an investor, okay, अगर आपका इन्वेस्टर हो, okay, तो इन्वेस्टर किसको कहते हैं? One who holds for anything more than 6 months or maybe 1 year. Okay, 1 year and above. Okay, so that person is an investor. Okay, swing trader क्या है? We talk about swing trader. So a swing trader would be for, let's say, anywhere from maybe couple of days to couple of weeks. Okay. Day trader, intraday trader क्या करेगा? Okay, he will look at intraday charts. तो इसका मतलब क्या होता है? देखो, अभी मेरी बात ध्यान से सुनो. ये रिटेल ट्रेडर्स के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. ओके, जब भी आप कोई ट्रेड लेते हो, सपोजिंग यू आर बाइंग अ स्टॉक और यू आर बाइंग एनीथिंग, ओके, यू हैव टू बी क्लियर अबाउट योर होल्डिंग पीरियड. आप इसको कितने समय के लिए होल्ड करने वाले हैं? क्या ये डे ट्रेड है? क्या ये वीक? क्या ये मेरे लिए स्विंग ट्रेड है जहां पर मैं कुछ हफ्ते और कुछ महीनों के लिए होल्ड करने वाला हूं, या एटलीस्ट कुछ दिनों के लिए? वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ज्यादातर लोग क्या करते हैं कि डे ट्रेड जो होता है ना, अगर वो लॉस हो जाता है ना, तो उसका डिलीवरी नहीं होता. खास करके फ्यूचर्स में और ऑप्शंस में. अगर मार्केट में फ्यूचर्स ले लिया है किसी भी कारणवश, अगर 1 डेढ़ साल या 1 डेढ़% अगर वो प्राइस नीचे आ गया है, ओके, तो क्या कर लेते हैं? उसको कैरी फॉरवर्ड करते हैं. ओके, लेना था आपको उस दिन के लिए, लेकिन क्या किया आपने? आ, आपने उसको कैरी फॉरवर्ड कर दिया. आपने जो स्टॉक कुछ समय के लिए लिया था, वो आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट बन गया. दैट इज वेरी वेरी डेंजरस. तो ओके, राइट, आई कम टू दैट. देखो, वेट. ठीक है, दैट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. तो उसमें क्या हो जाता है? प्रेशियस मनी गेट्स लॉक्ड इन. ओके, और खास करके फ्यूचर्स में जहां पर एक्सपायर हो जाता है वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट उस महीने, उस महीने पे. तो व्हाट शुड हैव बीन अ स्मॉल लॉस बलून्स इनटू अ बिग लॉस. और जो चीज मैंने इंट्राडे के लिए ली थी या कुछ दिनों के लिए थी, उसकी वजह से वो इन्वेस्टमेंट बन गया. ना, अभी वसीम खान जी का व्हाट टाइम फ्रेम शुड वी सी टू एंटर अ ट्रेड? माय क्वेश्चन इज, आपका होल्डिंग पीरियड कितना है? क्या आपको डे ट्रेडिंग करना है? आपको आपको यस, विल टॉक अबाउट दैट. ओके, नाउ विल टॉक अबाउट. सो अगर आपको किस कितने समय के लिए ये ट्रेड होल्ड करना है, बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है. वेरी 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 इंपॉर्टेंट. Okay. So now, supposing we are on this chart, what I am seeing is that UPL generally it is in a rising trajectory. So over a period of 1 year or more, the prices could still go higher. Okay, right? Over a period of 1 year, it could still be higher. But तो अगर मैं इसको लेने वाला हूं, if I'm looking at a longer term investment, it could still be higher. But कुछ दिनों के लिए prices नीचे आ सकते हैं. Okay, why? Because the overall trajectory is down, so on. So we can see prices decline for some days. आप समझ रहे हो? तो अगर आप लॉन्गर टर्म इन्वेस्टर हो, देन यू विल बाय. अगर आप शॉर्टर टर्म ट्रेडर हो, मार्केट में वीकनेस है, मे बी यू विल शॉर्ट यूपीएल. ओके, तो आप किसी से बात कर रहे हो तो वो क्या बोलेगा, अरे यूपीएल शॉर्ट टर्म तो बेरिश है. आप बोलते हो नहीं नहीं, मेरे हिसाब से मंथली 1 साल के लिए तो ये बहुत अच्छा है. तो मिसमैच हो जाता है विद इन टाइम फ्रेम्स. ओके, और दिस इज वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट रीजन why retail traders lose money, because they mismatch their trades. Okay, I have some people whom I know. Okay, some people whom I know, their investments is for a minimum period of 3 years. They are not interested in day trading. They are not interested in you know buying for a couple of days. Period. When they buy a trade, minimum is 1 year. Uske they don't look at that lower time. Okay, right? So we'll talk about swing trades. We'll talk about देखो ये लंबा. This is a big topic. Okay, we'll talk about these things. Okay, but जरा रुको, one step at a time. Okay, first learn trading process. आपका प्रोसेस क्या है, आपका होल्डिंग पीरियड क्या है. Majority of the people, they are not sure. Why? Because अगर आप something like UPL अगर आप ले रहे हो, then your stop loss, okay, in this case it just cannot be 2%, right? तो आप अगर मान लीजिए you are buying UPL here, okay, okay, just in case if the price declines, थोड़ा नीचे आ जाता है, it doesn't mean that you get out of your investment. Why? Because it is supposed to be a longer term trade. थोड़ी बहुत थोड़ा बहुत वोलेटिलिटी तो अनिवार्य है, हो जाएगा. Okay, okay. So are you getting the point? See, stay on the topic. देखो, be in the moment. जो टॉपिक पे बात कर रहा है उस पे फोकस रहो. Okay. I'll give you time for question and answers. We'll have something. We'll have some last 15-20 minutes. I'll give you where I will answer whatever questions I have. Stay on the topic. आप समझ रहे हो, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है एज अ ट्रेडर. ओके, यू विल, सो इसमें क्या हो जाएगा, सपोजिंग यू विल बाय हियर, प्राइसेस विल कम डाउन. अरे ये तो प्राइस बहुत नीचे आ गया. नाउ व्हाट डू आई डू, मेरा तो एग्जिट कर लिया, नहीं चल रहा है. एंड after 1 year you will find the price goes to your targeted level of 1000. Okay, right? So this is what happens. Okay, this is where a lot of frustration builds in your trading. Why? Because you have not held UPL. For example, I'm not telling you that this is a buy, but you have not held this particular stock for its fullest potential. Okay, आपने you have invested this for 1 year. In 1 week, the prices go down by 4-5%. You exit the stock, 5% में आपका ये हो जाता है. And then what happens? Prices, they will go in your favor. Okay. Second thing क्या हो जाता है भाई, जो लोग इन्वेस्ट करते हैं ना, और जो लोग ट्रेड भी करते हैं, जो दोनों करते हैं, क्या हो जाता है. ओके, मान लीजिए यूपीएल में आप इन्वेस्टेड हो, प्राइस गोज अप, आपने और कोई स्टॉक भी लिया है, ओके, सपोजिंग टाटा केमिकल्स फॉर एग्जांपल मैं बोल रहा हूं, फॉर एग्जांपल टाटा केमिकल्स आपने लिया है, आपने लिया है इसको शॉर्ट टर्म ट्रेडिंग के लिए, मान लीजिए कुछ दिनों के लिए होल्ड करने के लिए, तो इसमें क्या हो जाएगा कि आपका यूपीएल प्राइस फेवर में आ गया, ओके, टाटा केमिकल्स नेगेटिव हो गया, तो आप क्या करते हो, सो देन व्हाट विल यू डू, you will exit your UPL because it is showing you a profit to offset the losses that you have in Tata Chemical, right? Do you get what I'm saying? एक लॉस को ऑफसेट करने के लिए आप प्रॉफिटेबल ट्रेडर को छोड़ देते हो, क्यों? अरे आज मुझे लॉस नहीं हुआ, जो मेरे को टाटा केमिकल में जो लॉस हुआ वो that has been recovered from UPL, which is one of the worst mistakes that you do. That is the reason you should be clear about the target. You should be clear about the time frame. If you are if you are swing trading, holding period is for couple of days. Manage the trade in that time frame. अगर आप डेली पे ट्रेड लेते हो, manage the trade in that time frame. अगर आप वीकली पे ट्रेड लेते हो, manage the trade on that time frame. देखो, right? Yes, no, right? वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। देखो ये आपको वेबिनार, these are the basic building blocks of trading. How you conduct yourself against the market. Let's move on. Slide. Takes that. So now you understand. You can. Yes, you can. You can accumulate. देखो रुको, don't jump. मैं आपको I'll take you through the motions. Son, wait. So have you understood the importance of timing, the time frame? And see, consider. Okay, ये थोड़ा शायद मुश्किल होगा समझने के लिए, बट आई थिंक इट इज, कंसिडर अ टाइम फ्रेम as a session. And that means if you are buying on the monthly chart, consider the month as a session. Okay, consider month as a session. If you are buying on the weekly, consider week as a session. Okay. If you are buying on the daily, consider day as a session. So इंट्राडे ट्रेडर्स के लिए 5 minute 1 hour is anything less than, let's say, 5 minute for an intraday, or a 15 minute is the chart that you can look at. So now we are very very clear. See, मैंने क्या बोला था पहले, principles of price action analysis can be applied on all time frames. Okay. Why? Because markets are fractal in nature. Okay. Now if you are going to, okay, I'll just summarize this. If you are going to be a trader who trades off a daily time frame, manage that trade in that time frame. For daily, if you are, then you should be willing for couple of days to couple of maybe several days, I would say. अगर daily पे रहे हो तो कम से कम 6 7 8 दिन 10 दिन का टाइम फ्रेम रखो अपने ट्रेड को मैनेज करने के लिए। अगर आप वीकली पे ले रहे हो, ओके, अगर आप वीकली चार्ट्स पे आप ट्रेड कर रहे हो, तो कंसिडर वीक 1 week as one session and manage the trade on that time. And same goes for monthly. Okay, right? So now what should be the expectations, right? Again, these are ballpark numbers. So if you are an intraday trader, okay, I hope since right. See, now supposing if you are an intraday trader, your holding period is minutes to hours. Your holding period should be minutes to hours. अगर इंट्राडे डे ट्रेड है तो उसको कैरी फॉरवर्ड मत करो, राइट? बाय टुडे सेल टुमारो जो स्ट्रेटेजी है, आज शाम को लिया कल सुबह बेच दिया, एग्जिट दैट ट्रेड विद इन फर्स्ट आवर और फर्स्ट 30 मिनट्स। मगर अगर ओके okay, अगर आपने प्रीवियस डे पे लिया है, देन यू एग्जिट इफ इट इज अ बाय टुडे सेल टुमारो ट्रेड। Swing trade 1 to 5 days, look to hold it for a couple of days. Okay. Weeks to months, positional trades, and so on. Right? So, time allocation, screen based, daily analysis, weekly analysis, and so on. Okay. So, your trading style will determine the time frame that you are analyzing. Right? Very, very important as a right. Right. Okay. Right. Now, so now we have figured out what a time frame means. We go to theory of trends now. Okay. The fundamentals of trend and trend analysis. Okay. So now in this case, we have a couple of points here, several points. In fact, there are 6 points. The first one is what we call as a trend has 4 stages: markdown, accumulation, markup. So we have markdown phase, accumulation phase, markup, and distribution. Then we'll talk about types of trends. We'll talk about the principle of trend tenacity, dependency of time frames, corrective and impulsive moves, and change in trend patterns. Okay. Now, what is this? Is the basic fundamental of price action. Now we'll okay. So a trend has 4 stages का मतलब क्या होता है कि price अभी let's look at a particular let's look at let's look at Infosys. Now price जो है that moves in cycles. Okay. So cycles मतलब क्या? You have price, it goes up, it comes down, it goes up, it comes down. Okay. So this entire phase is one cycle. Okay. You can do this on any time. Okay. In the next session, I will teach you how to apply this in real time. ठीक है. Now see this, what happens, prices over here, okay, in this phase, okay, the prices are rising. In this phase, the prices are falling. Prices are rising and prices are falling. Okay. So now, what does the theory of trend stages क्या बोलता है? What does it say? Okay. Now, what it says is that a trend has four stages. Okay. Accumulation, uptrend or markup, distribution, topping, and a downtrend. Okay. So usually what happens is that, देखो, after a decline, let's say price has been declining for some time, price then goes in a prolonged range. Then prices cross above previous highs. Okay. Then it goes in a stage of stage two, the markup phase. उसके बाद एक रेंज आता है and then stage four starts. So this entire phase is one complete cycle. Okay. Up, down, up, down. Right? Okay. Very, very important. You got to understand which particular stock is in a decline, it is in a sideways action, and so on. Okay. So now let us compare two stocks. Let's say Infosys, obviously the prices, they are, or rather they were in a decline. Prices एक decline में थे, right? They were in a decline. Now either the prices, they are in a range, or they can go down. Okay, you can do this on all and on any time frame. Swati. Okay, you can do this analysis on any time frame. Okay, stay with me, stay with me, stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. Okay, wait, stay with me. So obviously now, let me change this to something else. Let's change this to something else. That's it. Just remove. Right. Now, obviously, हिंदुस्तान लीवर हैज बीन इन अ डिक्लाइन कुछ समय के लिए प्राइसेस दे आर इन अ डिक्लाइन देन we have a range. Okay, and now possibly Hindustan Lever could be in a markup phase or a rising trajectory. Okay, right? This one could be in a markup phase. अभी आप समझ में आ गया, when you compare Infosys and Hindustan Lever, You have Infosys either in a markdown or an accumulation phase. Okay. So accumulation, so you have a decline, mark an accumulation, markup, and a markdown. Hindustan Lever, most probably, it is now in a markup phase. Yes, no, no, yes. Ali, are you with me? देखो है कि नहीं? So Infosys is still in a accumulation phase or a markdown or a downtrend. Okay. Hindustan Lever is in a possible rising trajectory or it is in a markup phase. समझ में आ गया? Do you understand? अभी ये कैसे मालूम पड़ेगा? आपको रोज चार्ट देखना पड़ेगा. Okay. Right? Now this is, yeah, it is an application of Dow theory. Sabir point. It is an application of Dow. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. So fundamentals of trend, a pattern of, okay, now let's look at another example. Let us say you are here. A classic downtrend, a prolonged sideways action. And then what does the price do? Then what happens? See, a lot of green candles are coming. This is in hindsight. Okay. Right? This is in hindsight. But now this is definitely in an uptrend. Right? So Hero Motors, Hindustan Lever, relatively same movement है कि नहीं है? एग्जैक्ट नहीं होता है बट सिमिलर मूवमेंट्स है कि नहीं है दोनों में. डू यू सी दैट दिस टाइप ऑफ अ पैटर्न इन इंफोसिस एज येट अभी तक दिख रहा है क्या ये? नो. डू यू सी दिस इन इंफोसिस? देखो ये पैटर्न दिख रहा है क्या अभी इंफोसिस में? नहीं दिख रहा है ना. यू आर नॉट सीइंग दैट इन इंफोसिस, यू आर सीइंग दैट इन सिलेक्ट स्टॉक्स. तो मैंने आपको क्या बोला था? इंफोसिस फंडामेंटली स्ट्रांग है, मारुति फंडामेंटल स्ट्रांग है. ठीक है. हिंदुस्तान लीवर फंडामेंटली स्ट्रांग है. ओके. सो कौन सा स्टॉक्स में कभी कौन सा स्टॉक्स में फोकस रखना चाहिए? एक्यूमुलेशन फेज देखो, एक्यूमुलेशन फेज में क्या होता है, जब भी आप मान लीजिए इन्फोसिस लेते हो ना, यहाँ पर okay? यहाँ पर इन्फोसिस अगर आप लेते हो, यू कैन, दिस कुड बी a very long, prolonged sideways action that could happen in Infosys. Okay. तो एक्यूमुलेशन फेज है ना, कभी कभार बहुत समय चलता है. इट गोज ऑन हीरो इन एक्यूमुलेशन एंड देन ब्रेक्स आउट. यस. So now you have to look at a lot of you have to look at a number of stocks to find out which stock is breaking out of a prolonged accumulation phase. तो जो accumulation phase है ना, तो वो trend reversal patterns. We will talk about patterns in the next session. Something about patterns. See, this is very very important, right? Okay. So Infi is in. So now you have to look at a series of स्टॉक्स, बहुत सारे स्टॉक्स आपको देखने पड़ेंगे टू फाइंड दैट विच स्टॉक इज इन एन अप ट्रेंड, विच इज इन अ डाउन ट्रेंड, विच इज इन an accumulation phase, which stock is breaking out of an accumulation phase. Okay. Right? Okay. Now there are three types of trend. Okay, now okay, let's look at the second fix now. Yeah, we'll do that. Right. So now trend has four stages. Okay. So we have covered this point. Now we'll talk about, there are three types of trend: uptrend, sideways, and downtrend. So when, what is an uptrend? Uptrend is a series of higher highs and higher lows. You will see this. Okay. This is in a series of higher highs and higher lows. Okay. A downtrend is a series of lower highs and lower lows. Okay. Sideways trend is a series of equal highs and equal lows. Okay. Right. So let's go back. So Infosys is either in a downtrend, okay, Hindustan Lever is in an uptrend, okay, and let's say something like Bank of, let's say bank. Now, what is Bank of Baroda doing? Is it equal highs or lows? Can you see an uptrend or a downtrend here? Bank of Baroda is in a classic copybook sideways action. Okay. Maruti in an uptrend, Hero Motor in an uptrend, Hindustan Lever is in an uptrend. Manish will do it before that. Yeah, maybe this is in a range. Okay, right. So this is इक्वल हाइज एंड इक्वल लोज है ना, देखो इक्वल हाइज, दिस हाई, दिस हाई, इक्वल हाइज एंड इक्वल, देखो ये सेम है ना, इधर से देखो 249, 240, 49 एंड सो ऑन, लोज आर अराउंड 230, 31, तो हम लोग क्या कह सकते हैं, सो व्हाट कैन वी से इज दैट बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा has equal highs and equal lows. So Bank of Baroda is in a trading range. Okay, a trading range of a trading range of 250 to around, let's say, 230. Markup phase. Markup phase. What is the meaning of markup phase? Markup phase means prices emerging out of a prolonged accumulation phase. Okay. देखो मार्कअप फेज कभी आता है, लेट्स से ईयर, काफी टाइम से डिक्लाइन है, prices, then prices will break above previous resistance zone. So now from this phase, okay, this is a markup phase. So what you are seeing in something like Hindustan Lever is that it is in a markup phase. Okay, it is in a markup phase. See, these are phases. ये नाम दिया है. Okay. Okay. So now, okay, what this? अभी समझ गए? Bank of Baroda is in a range, equal highs or equal lows. Hindustan Lever, Hero Motors in an uptrend, higher highs and higher lows. Infosys, TCS, and so on, they are in a sideways range. Sorry, they are in a downtrend or a uh, the markdown. Okay. सो बेसिकली देखो ये नाम है, आपको सिर्फ ये एक आइडिया लगाना है कि करंटली ये स्टॉक अप ट्रेंड में है या डाउन ट्रेंड में. ठीक है, तो विल टॉक अबाउट ट्रेंड. सो अप ट्रेंड मतलब क्या, अ पैटर्न ऑफ हायर हाइज एंड हायर लो. देखो जो स्टेजेस है, दैट इज मोर ऑफ थियोरेटिकल एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑफ ट्रेंड. स्टेजेस है, मोस्ट चार्ट टेक्स्ट बुक्स टॉक अबाउट दिस. Okay. Hindustan Lever is higher highs, higher lows. Now, right? So it is sideways to uptrend. So now what do you do? Very simple. If you want to make money in the market, अगर profit करना है, तो in an uptrend, buy on decline. In an uptrend, buy on decline or on a breakout to new highs. अगर अगला हाई के ऊपर जाता है, यू बाय और यू बाय ऑन डिक्लाइन. सो अप्लाइंग दिस प्रिंसिपल, व्हाट डू आई डू? आई विल वेट फॉर हिंदुस्तान लीवर either move beyond this zone or wait for the prices to come down to a well defined support zone. So do we have an entry now? Maybe no. Do we wait? Yes. Do we observe? Yes. Do we take a trade? No. Till the time it breaks out or it comes down to a support. समझ गए? तो जो कहते हैं ना कि प्राइस एक्शन एनालिसिस अलाउज यू टू identify entries and exit. This is one basic examples I am giving you. Okay. Next, entire to intermediate session hai. This is only about identifying patterns and so on. Okay, but it is important that you know this theory. ऐसा तुम ये नहीं कर सकते हो डायरेक्ट इधर लेने का बताओ. Okay. You need to know this, right? And I think it is very important that you know this. मेरा मानना है कि ये एक ट्रेडर के लिए ये थियरी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. ठीक है? It is very important, right? So now, okay, so these are examples: markdown, accumulation, markup, again distribution, markdown, and markup. So market just goes up in cycle. Okay, you will find this on any stock in any time frame. See, metals is making a lot of buzz in last week. Mein. See, see this. We had this higher highs, higher lows, possible change in trend, and price is now breaking out of a significant resistance zone. This is sideways range. Now it seems that price is getting ready for a prolonged, it is emerging out of a prolonged accumulation. Yes, no, no, yes. Are things falling in place now? Let's go on. Hundreds of pages have been devoted to this theory of trend, okay, in the technical analysis literature. Right now, three types of trend. We talked about this: uptrend, downtrend, and sideways trend. Okay. Okay. A sideways trend is equal highs and equal lows. A downtrend is lower highs and lower lows. Okay. Uptrend is a series of higher highs and higher lows. Okay. So higher highs and higher lows. A downtrend is lower high, lower lows. A sideways trend is equal highs and equal lows. Okay. You should be able to recognize it. Okay. You should be able to recognize this when you are looking at a price chart. ये आपको immediately within seconds you should be able to identify whether a stock is in a rising trajectory, whether it is in a falling trajectory, whether it is in a corrective decline. Okay. Last 1 month HVM more, things will change now. Things change. Nestle, which phase? I would suggest look at Britannia. Okay, chalo. Let's look at let's look at Colgate. This could just be emerging. Okay. Okay. This could just be emerging out of an accumulation phase. But Britannia, is now in an established uptrend, a massive breakout. ठीक है, सिर्फ एक स्टॉक पे मत देखो. ओके, ऑलवेज लुक एट द द पीयर ग्रुप. देखो, जब भी आप कोई सेक्टर देखते हो ना, कोई भी एक स्टॉक, सिर्फ उसको मत देखो, उसके आजू बाजू, मतलब अगर आप एफएमसीजी स्टॉक्स देखते हो, लुक एट नंबर ऑफ एफ सेक्टर स्टॉक. विल टॉक मोर अबाउट सेक्टर इंडाइसेस इन द नेक्स्ट सेशन. ओके, don't be limited to one stock, look at the sector also. Okay, now okay, so uptrend is done. So this is a classic uptrend. Indian Bank has been in an uptrend for such a long period of time. Okay, among all the banks, okay, जितने भी banks है ना, उसमें Indian Bank is the best underlying trend. So okay, so Indian Bank, I don't know for whatever reasons. See, a classic uptrend. This is the best performing bank in the entire banking world. अभी तक. Things can change, yes, of course. देखो, things will change. Okay, so somebody was asking, was saying कि हिंदुस्तान लीवर में तो पहले रेड कैंडल्स था, तो पहले था, अभी नहीं है. तो you have to look at the change in colors. Okay, slowly the you will see the price trajectory changing. Okay, चलो, let's move on. See, this is in an ongoing certain examples. See, Jubilant Food Works in a major sideways range. Okay. Now, three simple rules of trading, जो मैंने आपको पहले भी कहा कि buy on declines in an uptrend. Buy on declines in an uptrend or on a breakout of previous high. In a downtrend, sell below a support or on rallies. Okay. Okay. In an established sideways trend, look to buy at support or sell at a resistance. Okay. So established sideways trend जो बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा में है, look to buy at a support, okay, and sell at a resistance. We'll talk more about this when we talk about support and resistance. Okay. अगर तुम ये रूल्स फॉलो करते हो ना, okay, either you only buy stocks in an uptrend or you buy at support. Okay. Avoid buying stocks that are in a downtrend for a counter trend move. Okay, ये difficult है. This is easy. Good quality stock in a major bull run. देखो, history repeats. Okay, this is an example. चलो, let's go on. We finish this. Three types of trends हो गया. Kyle. Very important. What is a corrective and an impulsive move? Okay, one of you will find authors like uh, Dave Landry talking about uh, uh, impulsive and corrective moves. So let's understand that. See, in a general uptrend, okay, I just talk to you in a general uptrend. Okay, देखो ये uptrend है, right? Okay. Uh, See, this is a rising trajectory. Now, these are counter trend or corrective moves. Okay, they are going against the trend. Okay, so what happens that after a price declines to a zone, it reverses. Okay, so this is in an uptrend. Okay, now it's a classic uptrend. Dekho, when we put on moving averages on this now, lot of things will get simpler, and I will also show you how to apply oscillators on this, but that will be in advanced session. Yeah. Now, these are corrective moves, prices going against the trend. Corrective moves. अभी देखो, now I'll just see what happens. Okay. देखो जब भी प्राइस में करेक्शन आता है ना, इट इज कॉल्ड एज अ करेक्टिव मूव. और जब भी प्राइस ओवरऑल ट्रेंड की डायरेक्शन में जाता है, when the price goes in the direction of the overall trend, okay, it is called an impulsive move. This is called an impulsive. Now, okay, now what happens when the prices are in an impulsive move? देखो, okay, जो प्राइस मूवमेंट होता है ना, जो impulsive मूवमेंट वो बहुत फास्ट होता है. इट इज relatively fast. You can get fast moves. Okay, see, 12% in less than 5 or 6 days. Okay, this, see, from here to here, 10% in couple of days. Sharp move, 8 to 10%. So now, when we are here, see, this is completion of corrective move. Okay, and now price is likely to move higher for me. Okay, why? Because pattern of higher highs and higher lows. If this low is in place, prices will eventually move above this high. The principle of corrective and impulsive moves. Okay. See, eternal. Prices in an uptrend gave a correction here and it is now moving higher. Okay. impulsive and corrective moves. Look to trade price moves that where the correction is complete. Okay, Eternal is one, Indian Bank is another one, uh, Ashok Leyland. Price moves up and in an uptrend, generally in an uptrend. Okay, chalo. Right. So with this, we complete our explanation and trends. Okay, impulsive and corrective moves. देखो अगर आप करियर बनाना चाहते हो ना ट्रेडिंग में, लर्न टू आइडेंटिफाई व्हाट इज द टाइप ऑफ द ट्रेंड यू आर इन एंड देन वेट फॉर अ करेक्टिव डिक्लाइन. एक करेक्शन के लिए वेट करो एंड देन ट्रेड इन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ द ट्रेंड. ये दिस इज अ क्लासिक अप ट्रेंड. ओके, so the examples that I have shown you, Indian Bank for example, Indian Bank, Ashok Leyland, Eternal, and so on. They are all examples of prices that are in a well-established uptrend. Okay. Now, let's go move further. For a pani pee leta. I just have some water. So now, uh, what is meant by support and resistance? Okay. Now, support means when the price is at a support. Okay, तो हम कभी कहते हैं कि प्राइस सपोर्ट पे है. ओके, और सपोर्ट लेवल का फायदा क्या है? सो सपोर्ट जोन वो जोन है प्राइस में जहां पर प्राइस आकर आइदर स्टॉप होगा, इट विल स्टॉप, or it will give you at least a short term bounce. Why? Because this is where the buyers are there. Okay, once the price comes here, okay, expect the price to at least give a short term bounce, okay, from this zone. So this makes support and resistance decision making points. Okay, now resistance is selling. Resistance is the opposite. If the price is at a resistance zone, okay, expect the price to either stop or show a decline from there. तो काफी कभी कभी है ना, काफी समय प्राइस रेजिस्टेंस जोन के उधर स्पेंड करता है. लेट मी शो यू. ओके, सो रेजिस्टेंस इज अ कंसंट्रेशन ऑफ सप्लाई. ओके, एंड बाइंग सपोर्ट इज अ कंसंट्रेशन ऑफ बाइंग. बाइंग आ सकता है, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. तो अगर आपको लेना है ना, बाय एट अ सपोर्ट, Okay, or on a break above resistance. Don't buy below a resistance zone. Okay, दिस इज अ सुसाइड. ये फॉलो करेगा ना तो आपका ट्रेड में बहुत इंप्रूवमेंट आ जाएगा. Okay, now let's see this in real time. What is how does support and resistance look? Okay. So previous swing highs and lows. देखो now अगर आप जब भी आप चार्ट देखते हो ना, learn to mark out support and resistance zones. See, let's say supposing you are here. Supposing you are here now. See, price came down from this point to this point. It moves up and then again it comes around the support zone. तो यहां पर maybe it's not a clean breakout, but here two things you don't do. Don't sell here. Don't sell short. Don't sell at a support zone. Okay. Personally, I don't prefer to sell at a support unless you are an intraday short-term trader. तो बात अलग है. Then what happens is prices can shift. See, yes, support पे now you know that this is a support zone and the prices may or may show at least a short-term reversal. Okay, it does not mean a change in trend. वहां से short-term bounce आ सकता है. Okay, very very important. बहुत important है कि ये you don't sell at the support. Okay, sometimes a massive move can happen from a support. बहुत बड़ा move भी आ सकता है. Okay. Now, avoid buying when the prices are at a resistance. Let's say, for example, see, same chart. See, over here, prices are at a resistance. Okay. Yes. Avoid buying. देखो, if you are buying here, then the next zone is here. Okay. So it makes sense to buy only above once the price crosses out of the resistance zone. देखो बड़ा मूव देखो. सी, दिस रेजिस्टेंस ये जो रेजिस्टेंस था, दिस बिकेम सपोर्ट. This resistance zone became support. So either buy this breakout or buy at a support zone. See, again, price went up. Where did it come down? It came here at the support zone. Okay. Right. Yes. Okay. Now, this is what we call as a breakout pullback trade or buying at support. This is a great place to buy, provided you have bullish candlestick patterns. In next session, I will teach you how to buy at support. But yes, support resistance analysis is very, very important. Okay. If a price is at a resistance, don't immediately get into it. Let's say, uh, वोल्टास में आपको कह रहा था ना, वोल्टास resistance zone, price breaking out, and now we are just at another resistance zone. Now what can happen is this. Okay, so as a trader, how does it help your decision making? Okay, so now what I can do is that I can simply look to buy here. Okay, if price goes beyond this, if price goes beyond this, अगर ये जोन के बाहर चला जाता है, then I could be looking at next resistance at okay, okay, right. You get this? Okay, so where is the next resistance level? Is here. Price is here. Okay, you can have a stop at this point, or you can put you can have a stop loss here. एक बार maybe if something happens, price don't go up, you can get stopped out, but again look to buy then at the support zone. देखिए strategy कैसे करते हो, by applying this principle, that is up to you. Okay, right. I don't use option chain for support and resistance. मैं बिल्कुल भी यूज नहीं करता हूँ. Okay, I always look at price action, support and resistance, but it is not my primary analytical tool. Okay, तो एक प्रश्न आया मनीष जी का, can we use option chain for support and resistance? I don't use it. Okay, I use price action. अगर आपको इंट्राडे चार्ट में जाना है तो then you go to an hourly chart. Then go to an hourly. You can form the same analysis here. तो आप अगर डे ट्रेडिंग करना चाहते हो, then you look at this. Okay, this is the resistance. This is a support. Overall price in an existing uptrend, a pattern of higher highs and higher lows. So now you have a decision making tool. Okay, if price manages to break beyond this, okay, you buy, but at the same time, what you know is that if I buy here, I have a major resistance at this point. ठीक है, तो अगर आप स्विंग ट्रेड ले रहे हो 2 3 4 दिन के लिए, okay, राइट, अगर आप 2 3 4 दिन के लिए ट्रेड लेते हो, then you know, if you are a short term trader, you know that this is the zone where I can actually look to take some profits. Yes, no, no, yes. Okay, are you with me? This is, so if you are at a support zone, let's, okay, जो मालूम हमने जो स्टॉक डिटरमिन किया था बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा, You are at a support zone. Where is the resistance? This is sideways, right? So now what are you trying to do? You are, so we are here. Okay. We are here at a support those. So now this support holds. So now what do you do? In this case of uh, this is at a support. So now what happens? Now where could the price go? If this is the target, okay, अगर मैं यहाँ पर लेता हूँ, this is a target of 248. Okay, I am buying here. Where should be my stop loss in this case? तो मैं कहाँ रखूँ stop? I can easily keep a stop at just below a support zone, right? And you have a possibility of a move here. See, what am I using? I am only using pure price action. Okay. So what I have a trading plan, a trading strategy. I have a list of stocks that I know that I am going to trade. Okay. देखो, price is here at a support. ये support क्यों है? Why is price at a support? Because see, देखो, number of times, see this कितनी बार घुमा है यहाँ से? See, price has gone up several times from this zone. Yes, support was established. एक, दो, तीन, कितनी बार ये लेवल टेस्ट हुआ है अराउंड 230-31 का? Several times. Number of times the level has been tested. Okay, okay, let's see. That's a jubilant. इसमें क्लियर नहीं है. सी, इट इज नॉट क्लियर. प्राइस एक्शन क्लियर नहीं है इसमें. ओके, आईसीआईसीआई बढ़ ही नहीं रहा है, बट इट इज एट अ ब्यूटीफुल सपोर्ट, है ना? तो आईसीआईसीआई बैंक देखो, जुबिलेंट फूड में देखो यहाँ नहीं है. डोंट ट्राई टू लोकेट अपॉर्चुनिटीज वेयर दे आर नॉट. ओके, सपोर्ट जुबिलेंट फूड में इतना अच्छा डिफाइंड नहीं था. आईसीआईसीआई बैंक में इट इज ब्यूटीफुली डिफाइंड. ओके, व्हाई? यू सी ऑन योर चार्ट, दिखता है ना ये. ओके, सी कितनी बार घुमाए, नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स अ लेवल हैज बीन टेस्टेड. यहां से इट हैज गॉन अप वंस, दिस हैज गॉन अप ट्वाइस, एंड वी आर हियर. So this is a simple, just buy on, just wait. So now if you buy on support, okay, you can look at candlesticks pattern. This is something that we'll talk about next time. So now you should be able to identify stocks, okay, which are at a support or they are not at a support. Okay, अगर है तो ठीक है, नहीं है तो छोड़ दो. If you are not sure, look at another chart. Okay, Jubilant Food, we are not sure. LIC Housing, I don't know. Geo Finance, maybe, yeah, Geo Finance is at a good support. Okay, overall trend structure is up. This is the support. So now what is my risk? My risk is limited over here. I know that if price actually breaks sharply below 304, okay, so I can easily keep my stop at 298. Okay, I can just wait for some. Abhi isko, you have to monitor this. Okay, do you see a green candle? Do you see some bullish candlestick pattern? Is there trend reversal sign? So I'll show you how to buy support. Okay, in the next session. देखो, then you wait. अभी देखो, I am not अभी, this is just identification. Next time I will show you how to buy at a support. Okay, we'll talk about range expansions and so on. Right. So this is something about, see, even when prices they are in a strong trend. देखो, see, why does a resistance zone price stops here? Okay, minor support and the price. See, this is now becoming a major support for the price. अभी यहाँ से अगर something happens and the price tanks, okay, अगर कुछ होता है and the price declines, okay, you don't want to be in the trend. मान लीजिए अगर आपने यहाँ पर लिया है और प्राइस डिक्लाइन होता है, then you don't have, so your stop is limited. Okay, so even previous swing highs and lows, see, you can easily mark out that on the way up Geo Finance can have some resistance here. Okay, then मतलब 2 3 4 दिन के लिए अटक सकता है. Okay. But here the trend is definitely up. There is no question about it. Can trends change? Yes, of course they can. But at this point, this is definitely in an uptrend. Okay. Right. So we have talked about support, resistances, swing highs, swing lows. We have talked about uh, okay, my volumes. Okay. See, very, very important. Don't buy at a resistance zone. Okay. See, if you buy at a resistance zone, prices can tank from you. Okay. You can have a very bad trade. Okay. This is obvious. एकदम obvious है. Okay. See, Grasim, ये, I don't know. This is at a support zone. Okay. Price at a support. Okay. Price at a resistance. Don't buy this. Okay. Change of polarity principle. Okay. Yeah. See, if this is the, see, usually अगर ये price है, if this is the price, okay, resistance will always be above the current, ये current price है close. Okay. This is the close. Okay. Support will be below the price. So you have to actually wait where the price is. Right. Let's see. Let's say, see, you have to just go through several charts every day, then make a decision whether the price is at a support or it is not at a support. See, I'll just show you one example before we. Uh, See, there was this huge breakout. Okay, यहाँ से price went up. यहाँ पर, see, it sunk below this zone. Now this is at a resistance level. Wait, see क्या होता, देखो इसमें क्लैरिटी नहीं है. इसमें क्लैरिटी नहीं है. Uh, so, I mean, if the structure, see this entire thing, what we call a support resistance trend, is going a broad base with a price structure. Okay. So, Mazgon Doc, see, it is maybe in a downtrend accumulation phase. See, this is not a good buy as of now. Okay. ये अभी नहीं है. So, I mean, don't waste your time in कि यार मैसगॉन कभी लेने का, ये स्ट्रक्चर ही नहीं है इसमें, right? Okay. See, RBL Bank, great structure, a beautiful structure that you have seen. This is a classic uptrend. See, price is breaking out of a major structure high. It is now breaking out of major structure high. This is an expansion breakout. Okay, I'll tell you something. Okay, the expansion breakouts hai ye. See, this is a great. Uh, this is a nice, good increase in volumes and so on. RBL Bank, Indian Bank. We have talked about RBL Bank also. So this is a classic stock in a classic uptrend on this time frame. Okay. So maybe on a weekly chart also. See now on a longer term charts, it is at a major resistance here. So now how do you deal with this situation? Okay. One thing is from here, look what happens over here. तो अगर आपने यहाँ पर लिया है, सपोजिंग यू हैव bought this here, okay, you can conveniently put a stop. You can conveniently put a stop below this zone, okay. And अगर यहाँ से clear होता है, then you can add on to it, okay. Disclaimer. See, this was RBL Bank here. It was just moving out of an accumulation phase. Okay. It moved off an accumulation phase here. We have been tracking RBL Bank since this is available. Okay, यहाँ से इसका ट्रैक हो रहा है. Okay. Adani Port, I go Adani Port on a weekly maybe. Now so now we are going to talk about something about the trader development process. Okay. So we have talked about price action. We have covered very important. So next time we are going to build upon this. Okay. We are going to build upon whatever we have learned at support resistance. We are going to talk about different types of breakout pullback pattern. You will know Manavendra Singh ji. So okay, just beyond money control side, you will have this. So next time when we'll go more deeper into this. My suggestion is that okay, okay. So now timing I think will be the same. I think it's going to be Saturday है. Next name उसके बाद का Saturday है. So just beyond money control का website you will get this, right? So support turning into see now basically when you start अगर आपने ध्यान से पढ़ा होगा देखो सेबी का जो इन्वेस्टर्स पे जो नोट बनाया था ना तो उसमें क्या होता है फर्स्ट traders so first time traders who come into the market so first thing is that they have small wins and very large losses ज्यादा करके लोग I mean it happens everywhere 17 18 year olds 19 year olds पापा का अकाउंट के So they come, with very absolutely no idea about the market. Then they trade options, they try to trade expiry, they try to do all sort of things, uh, and then they end up losing money. So this is the stage one of an unprofitable trade. Okay, small wins, larger losses. Now the reasons are several. ट्रेड मैनेज नहीं आता है, ट्रेड आइडेंटिफिकेशन ठीक से नहीं होता है, रिस्क मैनेजमेंट जैसा कुछ रहता ही नहीं है. Okay. Okay, so these are the you know the reasons where, see, most people, right, they don't actually go out of this phase to this one, performance phase. Okay, so then, as I said, boom and bust trader market, अच्छे market में they will make money. जो हमने देखा था कि post COVID, after maybe just below 2020 September 2024, a lot of people who entered during COVID, they were out of the market when the tide turned. Okay, so they are boom and bust traders. So they would be on COVID में, अरे कुछ ये नहीं है, no, and no, so these are boom and bust traders. Okay, then you come with, so roughly equal wins to equal losses. देखो मार्केट क्या होता है कि अगर आपने एक मार्केट फेज में, let's put it this way, let's put it this way, that a trader who, supposing, has entered here. Okay, देखो अभी now the market has gone up for some time, maybe somebody has entered the market here. Now that trader will enjoy, you know this entire move, and somewhere here he becomes complacent or overconfident, and when the market turns, यहाँ पे जो प्रॉफिट आया ना वो पूरा निकल जाएगा, राइट. दिस ये प्रॉफिट पूरा निकल जाता है, एंड when the market turns up, he no longer has the capital, physical, emotional stability नहीं रहता है to get back into the market. Okay. And these are the people who will, वो व्हाट्सएप पे मैसेजेस भेजेंगे अगर मार्केट 200 पॉइंट नीचे आ गया निफ्टी, या 2-4 दिन आ गया नीचे, देन यू विल फाइंड के इन्वेस्टर्स बर्बाद हो गए, दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग. ओके, स्टे अवे फ्रॉम दिस. ओके, व्हाट्सएप यूनिवर्सिटी पे, इंस्टाग्राम पे. ओके, so this is the boom and the bust segment. Okay, then people come to learn something. Those people who are really desire, जिसको अंदर से इच्छा है कि मुझे सक्सेस चाहिए इसमें. Okay, then they have this, good identity, good trade identification. Okay, proper risk management, trade identification, risk management, allowing profitable trades to run. So they manage their trades, they will move up their stop losses, करते हैं. Okay, this is very knows when to be in cash. ये बहुत important है, very very important. You should know when to trade and you should know when to not trade. देखो, just because अगर आप ट्रेड में नहीं हो ना, उसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप मार्केट में नहीं हो. You can still be in the market without having any open trade. You keep on following the market, you keep on doing your analysis. Okay, once things settle down, okay, then you know that you are on the right side of the market. Okay, देखो कोई भी टॉप प्लेयर जो होता है ना, वो ऑफ सीजन में ट्रेनिंग छोड़ नहीं देता है, बिल्कुल बंद नहीं होता है. Okay, they may take a day or two, maybe 3 days off from the training, but then they will still trade. Okay, bad phases, people, the great Virat Kohli, being out of form for such a long period of time, the great Sachin Tendulkar being out of form for such a long period of time. uh, okay, so they keep on, uh, you know they keep at their game, they don't stop practicing. So you don't stop analyzing. If you really want to reach performance phase where you have achieved mastery of the system, you know how to read charts. सी हमारे जमाने में जब हम लोग ने शुरुआत किया था ना, इट वाज सच अ डिफिकल्ट फेज. इंटरनेट वाज जस्ट नॉट देयर. वो जब आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट वे बैक इन 93 94. Internet was not there. 95, maybe 2000. What do you say? Software based trading was just being introduced. ring में से बाहर लोग आ गए थे. They had a very difficult time adapting to screen based trading rather than uh, you know outcry system जो पहले के जमाने में रिंग था. Okay, some people have been able to adopt to the changing market, some people have not been able to adopt. So traders learn, and that is what also will help you to achieve mastery over a period of time. So okay, so now talking about trade psychology, see, within 100%, okay, only 10% I would say is, or ये मैं नहीं कह रहा हूँ, there are a lot of authors who talk about this, right? So 10% strategy हम लोग के लिए. और strategy मतलब क्या? Stock identification, entry, exit, trade management. That is only 10%. I would say 30% is money management. Okay, how you hold your nerve. Okay, how you hold your nerve, and 60% is trade psychology. Okay, so trade psychology is very important. Okay, how you are able to withstand stressful phases. ओके, आपका पोजीशन है, मे बी आरबीआई का पॉलिसी आने वाला है. अरे अरे भाई, ट्रम्प साहब और पुतिन साहब का मीटिंग है, तो आपको पोजीशन ज्यादा लेना चाहिए, कम लेना चाहिए, बड़ा पोजीशन है, समथिंग, तो न्यूज आने वाला है. सो देन एज short term traders, they keep a track of all this. If you are a long term investor, you will have to look at longer term charts. You may have to look at uh, quarterly results filing, yearly results filing. देखो, I know different type of traders, investors. जो serious investors जो होते हैं, they attend the annual general meeting. They keep a track of the particular stock that they are following. Exchange filing वगैरह है वो देखते हैं, and so on. Okay, so that is something on trade psychology. Very important aspect. It is very important how you manage stress. Okay, so agar seriously, if you are interested in uh, in moving up your understanding, in trying to be in the market. Okay, see, you can also be in market. You can simply do SIPs of index funds, and you can just forget about all this. Okay, so you are still in the market, maybe a trade here, trade there, that is okay. थोड़ा बहुत पैसा आया, थोड़ा बहुत पैसा गया, that is different. Okay, but if you are planning to be a serious uh, trader or an investor, give time to it, right? So I think couple of years, and see to it that you don't lose a lot of money. Okay, we'll talk something about risk management next time. So next time के लिए जब भी हम बात करते हैं, okay, then what are we going to talk about? See, let's go to that previous slide uh, that we have. So next time when we talk about, this is one we are going to talk about trend lines, trend channels, how to buy at a support. See, this is one of my favorite setups, the range expansions. Okay, In this phase, we'll talk about how to enter into a trade. I'll just show you an example of what a range expansion looks like. And this trade was identified in real time a couple of days ago. Okay, a relatively short-term trading strategy, which you can obviously see. This was a range expansion candle is something we spotted it here. A relatively short-term trading phenomenon. So maybe here and this one. So I will take you through the motions of how to identify this sort of uh, price moves that you see. And apart from that, we'll also be talking something on trend lines, trend channels, how to buy trend line breakouts, how to buy at a support. So how to buy at a support, we'll probably look at some candlestick patterns. We'll also be talking about some price patterns like double bottom band, so on, which will help you to identify change in trend as and when it happens. Okay, but if you want a bread and butter trading strategy, range expansions could be one of the great starting points that you can have. तो आपका ट्रेडिंग के लिए शायद ये बहुत उपयोगी हो सकता है. एडवांस सेशन में देन वील लुक टू कंबाइन इंडिकेटर्स विद प्राइस एक्शन. तो हम लोग क्या करेंगे, वील कंबाइन. देखिए हमने ये जो किया है ना, ये एनालिटिकल पार्ट है. तो हमको हर एक चार्ट्स वगैरह देखना पड़ता है, दिस एंड दैट, सो यहाँ पर आई टीच यू सम ट्रेड मैनेजमेंट पॉलिसीज. वील लुक टू कंबाइन इंडिकेटर्स. तो जब भी हम इंडिकेटर्स कंबाइन करते हैं, तो तो you get a different perspective. Okay, so then you combine indicators, and then what you do is you apply price action. Okay, you apply price action to this, and then what happens, you will see is that there will be a great, I hope to see a great improvement in your trading. Okay, but still, this constant learning, constant applying the tools is what is going to separate profitable traders from unprofitable traders. Okay, there are probably, I don't know how many crores of accounts that have been opened. Okay, and then you have a handful of HNIs, and you have a handful of mutual funds who are in the game. Okay, retail still constitutes a very high percentage of the overall turnover. So, so if you are really, want to go deep into it, but hard work matters. Application, you have to devote some time to your improvement as a trader. Okay, whether you are serious about it, that you consider. Okay, uh, whether you want to take this up as a hobby or you want to start trading as a business, whether you want to take up trading, try to start and something client advisory. There are various ways in which you can apply this knowledge. Okay, for your own trading, for your own investments, you can do it for your family, you can do it to your friends. I mean, you can get your some amount of friends along, maybe, but I would suggest that no, if it is possible, attend a series, this particular sessions for several times. You'll find something new that comes up. I've been doing almost this for 25, 30 years. Okay, so that is something on what we are going to do next time and one after that. Uh, so I was asked something about couple of stocks. So we'll just, okay, somebody was asking me about Nifty. Let's apply to Nifty whatever we have got. Okay. Let's create a strategy of how we are going to apply price action to Nifty, and maybe then we can move to some other stocks. We have around 10 minutes or so. So, okay, so now Nifty, basically what we see is this, is that the prices, they are in a range. So we'll apply whatever we have got. Okay, RBL. Okay, so now apparently, if you are a short term, okay, let's start Nifty from a very long term perspective. Okay, so now what is the underlying trend in Nifty? Is it in an uptrend, downtrend, sideways? Let us apply whatever we have known, right? What is the underlying trend? Is it up? This is a Nifty monthly long term. So when you are looking at Nifty, you are now we are talking about 1 month as a session. So यहाँ से अगर हम देख रहे हैं ना, we are looking at least around 8 to 10 sessions. So 8-10 महीना, शायद 1 साल, 1.5 साल. Okay. So now what is the overall trend structure in Nifty on the monthly? Is it up, down, or sideways? Okay. So we are in a rising trajectory. Now, this is a pattern of higher highs and higher lows. Obviously, we are not in a downtrend as of now on the monthly time frame. So if you are an investor, okay, you should be in Nifty. अगर आप SIP में invest वगैरह करते हो, I would say don't get out. Okay, wait, right? So now, because eventually, so next time when I show you how to put on trend channels, I'll also guide you that how far can the market go. Okay, so now let's say, so longer term time frame, we are uh, you know on a classic uptrend. Okay, daily maybe we are in a range, we are going sideways. Okay. So daily we are on the weekly. So now obvious thing kya hai, the that over next couple of weeks, okay, so next couple of months the trajectory is up. Next couple of weeks, okay, maybe we could go in a range. Okay, so if you are a longer term investor, you stay invested. If you are, so what the general expectation is that over next couple of weeks, okay, we could see more sideways action. Okay, तो एक रेंज में निफ्टी रह सकता है, probably from 25,200 to maybe 25,400 or maybe 25,600. So now we can earmark resistance levels. Now we can earmark resistance levels. So first obvious zone is here, and then this zone is here. Does it happen every time? Not necessarily. Now, so now what I can see is that daily is at a support zone. Okay, so daily is at a support zone. So Nifty, whatever happens, we should not see market trade below this. If you are trading Nifty, see now your trading bets जो है ना, trading जो bet किया है ना, उस पे जरा संभालना. लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टमेंट लेट इट बी. तो अगर आप सिप वगैरह कर रहे हो, या तो फिर इंडेक्स फंड में इन्वेस्टमेंट है ना, डोंट गेट आउट ऑफ. आप समझ रहे हो? Are you with me? See how we are applying these tools. Okay, so these are small short term moves. On the intraday time frame, hourly charts, we are just seeing a pattern of higher highs and higher lows. So maybe this is going to be more of a sideways action. Okay. So now Monday ko, now what? How do we trade this? If on Monday, if market goes beyond 24,800, we can expect a move over next maybe 1 or 2 days to 24,900. Okay, this is the analysis for Monday. Okay, this is what we have in front of us. For Tuesday, we have to reanalyze. Okay, for Wednesday, we'll have to again look at how the market has behaved. So, right, so that is how we go about doing it. Right, so Nifty, we have done this. ITC hotels, you may, it depends on your exit. It depends on your exit strategy. Monday range, it could be very big. We don't know. A lot of things have happened over the weekend. So that's the over last 1 or 2 days the market has given a very sharp range. So volatility will be there, uh, especially with expiry now moving to Tuesday. So we don't know how the market is going to absorb that. Okay. So विजय जायसवाल जी का प्रश्न है, आई थिंक इट शुड बी मनी कंट्रोल में से अगर कोई है तो दे विल reply to this question. Shall we sell the stock on reaching the resistance zone? Vijay Jaiswal ji asked this question to me tomorrow. Okay, sorry, when we meet next time, when we meet for intermediate session, I'll be better able to answer this. मैं अच्छे तरीके से तभी मैं आंसर कर पाऊँ, right? Okay, so right guys, so I think it's almost we are coming to an end of today's session. Uh, I hope to see you uh, in the intermediate session. As I've said, a lot of interesting things will be discussed. And हम लोग इस पे build करेंगे जो भी हमने सीखा है ना, हम उस पे build करेंगे. We'll try to move ahead with what we have learned. Okay, so right, so I think that is what is no. Yes, I think you should be having a recording available. Okay. Yes, it is uptrend and sideways now. Indian hotels. Okay, one last chart before we close this session. I'm sorry, I'm not able to look at all the charts because this is just too many. Let's apply whatever we have learned to Indian hotel. See, I don't think so that this is maybe it's in a very long-term accumulation phase. So I think just wait and watch. We don't have enough clarity for a strong momentum move as of now. Okay? So Indian hotels may see just moving out of a range, maybe an accumulation. I would say let it move beyond 810 or short term spurt आ सकता है, especially GST में जो भी हुआ है. Okay. Right. Ashok ji, some people say that if you analyze, no, I don't think so. You have to look at the entire start and end. How do we confirm breakout and breakdown? Okay, we'll talk about this next time, Kalpit ji. So, okay, whatever your questions are there, please preserve it. We'll surely try to answer it because I'm not really, I mean, most of the question, this will be answered next time when we go more deeper into this. Okay. So, okay, so I think so we'll end the session here, guys. It's 1 o'clock here. So I hope to see you. And okay, one more important thing that uh, please learn how to use the software that is right. So please use this, and because we'll be looking at a lot of charts next time also, and it will be easier uh, in that sense. Okay, right. So guys, bye everyone, and see you next in the next session.